everybody, how you guys doing out there today? Welcome back to another episode of Halloween at the Manor. I think this is going to be a good episode today. We're going to do a new project, and of course this is a project that we don't need and probably don't have the room for, but I thought it would kind of be cool. So what we're going to do today is a guillotine prop project. Now, I don't want to give away too much information about what we're going to be doing for this year's Halloween, but this guillotine prop is something that we could use in our haunt coming up. So that's why I'm going to build it. I'm going to apologize in advance if this video gets long. However, I'm going to try to make this video as encompassing as possible. So if you guys wanted to try to make one of these on your own, hopefully by watching this video you could do that. So why don't we go ahead and we'll go out to the garage, or as I like to call it, the laboratory, and we'll get started. I'm going to start off with these two pieces here. These are 2 feet by 6 feet pieces cut at 2 feet long. So that's where I'm going to kind of start. And I'm going to try to map out on here. We're going to have 2 by 2 inch posts like this on all 4 corners here. And basically it's going to connect these 2 pieces together. And then somewhere in here, probably maybe around like the middle here, maybe even a little bit over, I'm going to bore a hole in here and I'm going to slide some PVC in. And that's actually what is going to be the guillotine's actually going to slide up and down on. I bought a 10-foot piece of 1-inch PVC. And what I did was I ended up cutting this in half. So this is 2 pieces now, and they're both 5 foot long. And that's how long I'm going to make the actual guillotine part of this prop, is about 5 feet tall. Now, I will probably add a base onto it, which will raise the height to, I'm thinking like maybe around 7 feet, maybe a little bit more depending. But I cut these out. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bore the holes here and here. So what I did was I went in 3/4 of an inch, and then since this is 5.5 inches long, or wide I should say, I went down to 2.75 and just put a line there so I know that's the center of it. So when I bore these holes out, this will be in line. All right, so as you can see here, we bored the holes out where we're going to put the PVC in, and since we used a 1-inch piece of PVC, I had to use a 1 3/8 inch spade bit to get this to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other piece over here. So as you can see here, I put the PVC in and it's flush with the wood here, and I just ran 1 3-inch screw through there to kind of keep the PVC in place. And that's what I did for this one. Now we're going to start working on the other piece here next. So I also bought a 10-foot piece of 1 1/4 inch PVC. Now the reason I bought this was because this is going to slide right on the 1-inch PVC. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see here, I'm going to attach this to this board here on both sides, and so this will slide up and down. I do have some silicone spray if it doesn't go smoothly at first, but so this is 1-inch PVC and this is a 1/4 inch PVC, and I'm going to attach this right to here. Going to drill a hole in here and then put the screw in on both sides there. Okay, so a little change in plans. I initially bought this 1 1/4 inch PVC. The problem was this was too tight against the 1-inch, and it didn't slide up and down as well. I just happened to have some scrap 1 1/2 inch PVC, and I ended up using that instead. So initially I told you guys to buy 1 1/4 inch PVC to be able to slide over the 1-inch. Don't do that. Buy some 1 1/2 inch. It makes it slide over a lot easier. All right, guys, you ready? This might be a little hard to do holding it by myself, but here we go. Ready? So imagine a blade being on this. So there we go. We got it pretty much set up. All right, so what I did for now is I kind of have everything temporarily in place. So both of these 2 by 6s are boarded up, and now we have the this in here, which is sliding really nice. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put on the 2 by 2 inch strengthening posts here that are going to go from here to here, and then on the bottom of both sides, just to give it a little bit more extra strength. So I'm going to cut those now and I'm going to put those on. All right, guys, so I did get the 2 by 2 posts on here, and these posts are roughly 57 inches tall. And if you think about it, the The PVC was 5 feet. These are 1.5, so that's 3. So 60 minus 3 is 57. So these are 57 inches. So this right now is 5 feet tall. And the next thing I'll have to do is I'll have to work on the blade part, trying to figure out what size the blade is. This piece here, the wood that's going to hold the blade, is roughly around like 19 inches. It's maybe like 19.25 inches. It's not that much. So I may make the blade like 18 inches. So what I might have to do is, I'm thinking about, like I mentioned earlier, cutting out in here like a gap so that we can make the blade go right through this. So I went ahead and I cut out a hole in the bottom here so that the blade can go through. Now, it's not absolutely perfect, and it really doesn't have to be. This is going to be bolted onto the base, and no one's really going to see this. So basically, this is just, I think it's about 1.5 inches wide, just enough to get the blade to come through. Now, I do actually have this piece right here, 5mm plywood. I think I'm just going to use this to make the blade, so I'm just going to cut this to here to give this a little bit of a point and just, cut this off, and that should give it a nice blade here. So then what I'll do is I'll attach this to the back of this, and the blade will go through. All right, guys, so we do have the blade on here. I did get that on, and what I end up doing is I end up painting this probably like a metallic silver, but I did get the blade on here, and it does work its way through. So what we'll do down here is we'll build the base on this, and in here is where we'll have like where the head would be. So I feel like I made a lot of progress on this today. I did have to put some extra 2x2s here to give it some more support. I heard it cracking, so I just wanted to give it a little bit more support, and I will beef this up when I build the base. I'll probably put something right across here. All right, guys, welcome to day 2 of the Guillotine project. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working on the base here. So I'm kind of envisioning this thing being about 2 feet long. So I have this really nice piece of plywood here. It's 2 feet by 4 feet. So I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to attach it right to here on the bottom of the guillotine, and then I'm going to cut a hole out of it for the head. All right, guys. So I cut. I had some more 2x6 scrap, so I cut these two 2x6 boards here, and each of these boards is 21 inches long. So I cut these 21 inches, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt these. I'm going to bolt the plywood onto these. I'm going to start to kind of frame the base now. I am going to secure this eventually by running some kind of trim. I'm going to be covering all of this here so you can't see the PVC at least. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use yet, but I am going to be covering that, and I will come down here and cover all this as well. All right, guys, so this is kind of what we're looking at right now. As you can see, this thing is about 7 feet tall right now. I am going to have to make a new blade. The blade that I had didn't go down as far as I wanted it to, so I'm going to have to make a new blade. But I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run some... I have some long 2x2 pieces over there. They're just about 3 feet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them on the bottoms here. Okay, and then I'm going to do something to kind of give them some support so that this thing has a little bit more stability. I put these 2x2 inch pieces of wood on here on the very bottom. Each of these was 38 inches, and that's basically what was left over from when I cut these 57 inch poles. I bought a 2x2x8 piece of this wood. So what I did was this is a foot, and then the rest is, what, 26 inches. I took the last 2 pieces of 2x2 that I had, and I basically just cut them. I angled them. I'm not exactly sure what the angles are. I know the one was like a little over 45 degrees, and I think the other one was like 31.6 degrees. But as you can see here, I just cut them so I could bolt them into the standing guillotine structure. Basically, I don't think this is absolutely necessary. I'm really just trying to give it the look of a guillotine, really. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, and you do not have to do this if you don't want to, I'm just going to do it I don't know. I think it would be kind of funny. I am going to make like almost like a basket here, like a bucket here for the head to be caught. So what I decided to do is again, I'm trying to utilize all the scrap wood that I have. I had some of these left over here. These are some more of the 2x6. So I cut this 2x6 by 12 inches. So this is 2x6 by a foot, and I have another 2x6 by a foot, and I have some more of this plywood here, and this is actually 2 feet by a foot. And this is just going to lay right on top of this right here. And then the front of this, I'm going to cut some more plywood to go over the entire front right here to cover this up. All right, guys, so I finished this up, and I actually threw our severed head in there to see what it looks like. It's pretty funny. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of take some of the scrap wood I have here and try to make this look a little bit nicer. So like I have this wood here, it's really nice. I'm just going to maybe run this up the sides here and the front just to make it look nicer. I'd really like to cover, like, so you couldn't see the PVC from the front. Like if you're looking at it, it could be like covered. So that's what I'm going to do now. Again, this is something that you don't have to do. It's just something that I want to do to kind of make it look a little bit nicer. This is where I'm at right now. I think I'm actually going to have to stop for tonight because I ran out of screws. So as you can see here, I've been covering up the open spaces here with this scrap wood that I have. And, you know, there's holes and there's seams, but I'll fix that later. You have all this. Then here we did the same thing. I haven't done this yet. I might do that tonight yet. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any screws or anything. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have to go to Lowe's. I'm going to get some 1x4 inch wood, and I'm going to run that up across and down here, and that will cover up this. You won't be able to see this thing. All right, guys, welcome to day 3. Basically, I don't really have too much more left as far as the build goes. What I am doing today is I went to Lowe's and I got some 1x4 inch wood, and they're all 8 feet. And I'm going to start putting this over the front and the back. And as you can see here, it does block from seeing the PVC. So that I just wanted to make this look a little bit cleaner. I think it makes it look nicer. So I'm going to do that around the front and down, and then on the back side as well. All right, guys, so I'm pretty much done my build for the guillotine here. As you can see, I went through and I just did some wood filling. I'm not going to go crazy with it, to be honest with you. You know, I'm just going to sand this down and paint it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I did get this paint right here. It's called a satin brown boot. Before I finished for the night, I did spray paint the guillotine here, and you know, it does look a little blotchy, but that's okay. Like I said, I am going to do some dry brushing of a darker brown on this. I really don't care too much about the gaps you see there. Like I said, this is just something that is going to be outside during our Halloween, probably our haunt this year. So what I'll do is I'm going to let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to come out here, do some dry brushing, put the brown in there, the darker brown in there, and then once we get that on there, then we'll probably start putting on. We have this really cool fake blood. We'll put the fake blood on there. I'll attach the blade to this, and then I'll have to rig up the wiring or the string or whatever I'm going to use to get that on. But that's going to close it out for day 3. All right, everybody, welcome to day 4 of the guillotine build. What I'm doing today is I'm going to start dry brushing some of this. It's supposed to be dark brown, but it has a little bit of a purple tint to it. Dry brush this onto the guillotine that's back here, which I painted yesterday with spray paint. So this is just kind of a look at what it's going to look like. I really actually like this effect. Basically with the dry brushing is you just take a brush and just wipe off all the excess paint on it, just so that there's like a little bit on the brush, and then you just gently put it onto the what you want to paint, and it has a really cool effect to it. So I'm going to do this with the rest of the guillotine, and hopefully this will look as cool as this does. All right, guys, so I pretty much have the guillotine completed. As you can see here, I have the blade attached now. I decided to use twine. So I did put some of these hooks in here just to let the rope be able to move up and down a little bit more. I did have to cut the blade thinner because it was smacking against the back here, and as you can see, I actually cut this back piece off as well, so that's gone now. So when this blade comes down, it does smack right against here. I did do a couple tests, and the blade does move up and down pretty nicely. I guess the last step is going to be just to put the fake blood on there, and then we'll be done. So the last step that I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to put some of this blood paint on that we get from Scarecrows out in Levittown, Pennsylvania. This stuff is really, really good. It has a really nice shiny coating when it's dried. So I'm going to throw some of this pretty much all over this thing and really bloody it up, and you know, just make it look really gory. So the guillotine project here is completed, and this is the final product. So just give you guys a little look here at the blood and everything. I tried my best to get it to kind of pull around here, where, like, you know, realistically, if the head got cut off, that's where the most blood would be. And then in here as well, just kind of dumped it all in there. Have a lot of the splatter and everything. I got it up here on the blade as well, which I think looks pretty cool. And overall, I'm really happy with the way this came out. This was actually a pretty fun project. If you wanted to do this on your own, or do this for yourself for a Halloween prop, it's really fairly reasonable. It's pretty much just PVC, 2x2 inch wood. You know, you don't have to go through all of the steps that I did. If you just wanted to make something kind of, you know, barbaric, you can get away pretty cheap doing it. I love the way the paint looks with the dry brushing, and just overall, I think it's a really cool prop that we got here. And like I said, very fun project, and I'm very happy that I did it. I know when I try to get it down to the basement here, I'm probably going to regret it. But anyway, the last thing we'll do is we'll do a drop here of the blade so you can see that, and that'll be it. Thanks for watching.